Welcome back to the Aqua Cares Home Safety TV show. I am Melissa Rand with Aqua Plumbing, Air, and Electrical, and I'm here again for the long-awaited Johnny Cherry's second segment. So I know that I was super intrigued by the last one. I hope that you were able to tune in, and if not, you can see that on a live feed. But we've got some tips for healthy and safe water for your homes, right?
Absolutely.
All right, here we go, Johnny.
Thank you. Last time we talked about sediment in the water. There's two things you're up against, and if you have municipal water at your house, let me back up. If you actually have private well water, you already know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about sediment. All right, you're pretty much well versed in how corrosive that stuff is. A lot of city water folks that pay a monthly bill don't understand it. The city water is still hard water. And the sediment tears up faucets, fixtures, plumbing, things like that. But that's only half of the equation. The other half is the chemical load that's in this water. The county sends out, in Sarasota, Manatee County, they send out an annual water quality summary you get in the mail. And if you live in an apartment building or a condominium, they send it to the office because you pay your bill a little differently than a private homeowner. But it's there available for you to look at. Now, when you read it and you look at it, it's very hard to comprehend. It's written in a technical manner, so you're looking at all these numbers and percentages and parts per million and all this stuff, and it's hard to really kind of wrap your head around it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give you the shortened layman's version, all right? One of the things we have to do to our water down here in South Florida and everywhere in the country, but especially down here in the subtropics, is we have to make sure there's no bacteria in the water. So we put a lot of chlorine in the water, and we also add ammonia to get what's called a chloramine, and that's a very, very potent antibacterial. I could say a lot about it as far as its health effects, but I'm not a doctor. I'm not here to give you medical advice. I'm just here to kind of just give you a heads up on what this stuff can do to your home as far as plumbing fixtures and faucets. But I'm going to show you this. This is my swimming pool tester for my old swimming pool. And if you can zoom in on this. Now, can you see that? All right, now look. This, and it's really hard to see. You probably can't see, but you see how yellow that is? If there was no chlorine in the water, it would be clear, okay? Well, the chlorine in the water is 5 parts per million. That's what it tested at. Now, that's pretty strong chlorine. That's great from a disinfectant perspective, all right? And when you look at it that way, if you know what, if you've ever had a swimming pool and you've heard the term shock the pool, if you shock the pool, that means you don't necessarily swim in it. And you certainly don't drink it. You certainly don't cook with that water. But when you're talking 5 parts per million, you're close to shock swimming pool water. I mean, that's pretty high. So, in fact, you can't see it on this little thing, but it has this little slot that says ideal for the perfect pool water is 1 part per million to 1.5 parts per million. And it's measuring at 5 as it is. So, again, the county's not the bad guy. So don't call the county and yell at them. They're trying to make sure you're safe. That's the point. And you have to kill that bacteria one way or the other. Now, your gut, of course, is loaded with a lot of friendly bacteria, and this stuff kills bacteria, and it doesn't care whether it's friendly or not. Keep that in the back of your mind. Now, how do you deal with this? What do you do? Well, you've got sediment on the one hand, a load of chemicals on the other. So what you need to do when you clean up the water, if that's what you want to do, is you need to get rid of the sediment, and you need to get rid of the chemicals, and the process to do so is completely different. Now, what happens when you clean up your water? Okay, Johnny, Yeah. I'm cleaning up my water. What can I expect? Well, you see this? This is water, literally from the municipal source, straight out of the tap. And this is water from my house. I think they're even, Johnny's house water. It's even mentioned on there. And what I have here, and they're both the same, all right? This is liquid soap. It happens to be Dr. Bronner's. You can buy it at Publix. Many of you are familiar with it. And I'm just going to do this. Now watch. Get a close-up of this. And this is, which one's this one? This was my house water. We're going to put 10 drops in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we're going to set that down here. And we're going to take the unfiltered straight municipal water. And we're going to do the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have 10 drops of soap in each one of these. We're going to give them a whirl. And I'm going to let you zoom in on that and tell me what you notice right off the bat about the water. One's cloudy and one ain't. Why? Well, one is filtrated. There's no sediment in the water. In fact, this is the typical amount of sediment that we find in municipal water per 2 ounces of water. Okay? And I'm going to show you this again. I showed it to you last time, but if you can actually see this here, Can you zoom in on that at all? And if I give this a whirl, look how much of that crud comes off the bottom. That's why that's cloudy. And if you look at this, it's clear. That's why that's clear, because the soap is interacting with the sediment. So what does that mean? Well, let's do this. These bottles are now your washing machine, your dishwasher, you in the shower. Doesn't matter, anywhere, washing your car, washing the dog, anywhere there's soap interacting with water. Watch what happens, all right? If we give these a shake, like in a washing machine, for example, what do you notice right off the bat? One suds like crazy, and the other doesn't do diddly. Well, as a result, what would you have to do? Think about this. If you could use a little bit of soap in your laundry, like, say, a teaspoon of, say, Tide liquid or whatever liquid you like in your laundry machine, and literally everything comes out spotless. Or use a half a cup every time. You know how expensive this stuff is, right? I don't grocery shop, my wife does, but she'll tell me, John, the prices on this stuff are just going crazy, especially in these days of inflation. You need to cut back on some of these expenses. So one of them is, how about this? How about if you bought a gallon of laundry detergent that would last you the better part of a year? How's that? And this, by the way, you can't see it on here. It's really hard to see. You have to see it in person. But you can see the soap scum that's right on the edge of the glass here. And also, too,